Many commercial bread products, sold in the United States, contain varying levels of hidden additives that are technically permitted under FDA labeling regulations but often obscure the product's true nutritional profile. Independent investigations into industrial baking practices have frequently highlighted how emulsifiers and dough conditioners are used to accelerate rising times from hours to mere minutes. By focusing on shelf life and texture rather than fermentation, mass-market producers effectively shift the focus away from traditional slow rise methods that have historically defined bread making. This raises important questions about what we are really consuming every morning when we pop a slice into the toaster. Where are you watching from in the United States? Comment your state below. Whether you are tuning in from the bustling streets of New York, the sun-drenched coast of California, the expansive plains of Texas, the vibrant communities of Florida, the heartland of Ohio, or the growing suburbs of Georgia, I am genuinely curious to hear where our community is located. And while you are down there, tell me how old you are. It helps me understand the different generations watching this channel. We are all here to learn about better food choices together. The first brand to consider with skepticism is a common line of ultra-processed white sandwich loaves found in nearly every national grocery chain. These products often list high fructose corn syrup and monoglycerides near the top of the ingredient deck. While these additives are recognized as safe by food authorities, they serve to create a uniform, pillowy texture that consumers have come to expect from modern packaged bread. However, this level of processing often leaves little room for the complex proteins and fibers found in traditional, minimally handled grains. Moving on to our second target, we find the brightly packaged wheat breads that promise whole grain benefits but hide a different reality. On the back label, many of these loaves are actually refined white flour products with added caramel coloring to mimic the appearance of whole wheat. If a consumer does not check the ingredient list for the specific term whole wheat flour at the very start, they might be purchasing a product that offers minimal nutritional value. It is a masterclass in marketing that falls just within the bounds of current FTC guidelines on advertising. The third category involves those soft, pre-sliced sourdough loaves that crowd the shelves of discount supermarkets. True sourdough relies on a slow fermentation process with a wild yeast starter to break down gluten and phytic acid. These industrial versions instead use commercial yeast and flavorings like vinegar or lactic acid to simulate the characteristic tang of real fermentation. This process effectively skips the bioavailability benefits that traditional sourdough is sought after for, leaving the consumer with standard bread dressed in a rustic name. Our fourth group consists of the ultra-long life loaves that can sit in a pantry for weeks without showing a sign of mold. Manufacturers achieve this shelf stability through the heavy application of calcium propionate or other chemical preservatives. While these ingredients prevent food waste at the industrial level, they raise questions about the long-term impact of consuming constant, low-level additives in a daily staple. The convenience of not having to shop for fresh bread often comes at the cost of consuming a more inert, synthetic product. Fifth on our list are the keto-labeled breads that have surged in popularity across the country. These products frequently replace traditional flour with vast amounts of isolated wheat gluten, bamboo fiber, and various gums to achieve a bread-like structure without the carbohydrates. The resulting ingredient list often resembles a chemistry set rather than a pantry list. While these may fit into specific diet protocols, they are far removed from what anyone would traditionally recognize as bread. Sixth, we look at the sweet-tasting breakfast breads that are marketed as healthy additions to a morning routine, often filled with high amounts of cane sugar and soybean oil. These loaves are effectively closer to a dessert than a standard sandwich bread. The presence of these sweeteners can spike blood sugar levels in ways that traditional savory breads do not. Checking the sugar-to-fiber ratio on these products is a critical step that many shoppers simply overlook during their quick trips through the bakery aisle. The seventh type to watch out for is the mass-produced multigrain loaf that features a sparse dusting of seeds on the crust. While the visual suggests a nutrient-dense food, the actual interior of the bread is often dominated by enriched white flour. The minimal inclusion of grains serves more as a marketing tool than a nutritional foundation. It is essential to look for products where the grain is the primary component of the dough itself, rather than just a decorative finish on the top of the loaf. Eighth, we examine the store brand breads that prioritize extreme affordability through the use of mass-produced dough conditioners. These conditioners, such as azodicarbonamide or potassium bromate in some older formulations, are designed to make the bread look perfect on the shelf. While most manufacturers have moved away from the most controversial substances, the reliance on high-speed industrial processing remains a constant. Choosing a local, smaller batch producer often results in a loaf that was made with actual time and intention. Ninth, we have the branded brioche loaves that are sold at a premium price point. While they taste rich and decadent, they often contain hydrogenated vegetable oils rather than the butter that defines traditional French brioche. The mouthfeel is achieved through industrial fat substitutes that mimic the creaminess of high-quality dairy. Understanding that a premium price does not always equate to premium, high-quality ingredients is a vital part of being an informed shopper in the modern grocery store. 10th, the final avoid entry is the classic potato bread found in the snack aisle. Though the label highlights potato flour, the actual potato content is often negligible compared to the volume of refined flour, sugars, and preservatives. It is a highly palatable product, designed for maximum texture and shelf performance, rather than nutritional density. These products are essentially engineered for high consumption, making it very easy to overeat without realizing the true composition of what is inside. To spot the difference, always look at the ingredient list length. A bread made with traditional techniques typically contains only flour, water, salt, and perhaps a starter or yeast. If the list is longer than 1 or 2 lines or contains words you cannot easily pronounce, that is a clear signal that the bread has been engineered for industrial efficiency. Look for the USDA organic seal if you want to avoid synthetic pesticides and certain harsh dough conditioners, as that certification carries a higher standard for the overall quality of the source ingredients. Now, let us turn to the 3 types of bread that actually hold up to closer inspection. First are the locally baked sourdough loaves from small, artisan bakeries. These are usually made with stone ground flour and fermented for at least 12 hours, which significantly improves the ease of digestion for most people. Supporting local bakers not only keeps your money within the community, but also ensures you are getting a product made with genuine, recognizable ingredients. Second, consider sprouted grain breads that you can often find in the freezer section. The sprouting process is a fascinating natural method that helps break down anti-nutrients in the grains, making the vitamins and minerals more accessible to our bodies. These loaves are almost always made without the excessive gums, conditioners, and added sugars that plague the mass-produced options. They offer a density and nutritional profile that is clearly superior to anything found in the middle aisles of the supermarket. Third, look for bakery direct heritage wheat loaves that highlight specific grain varieties like einkorn or emmer. These ancient grains have not been subjected to the intense breeding programs of modern commercial wheat, often resulting in a different protein structure that some find easier to tolerate. Because these companies are smaller and more transparent, they are more likely to list their sourcing practices clearly on their packaging. This is exactly the kind of intentional, mindful shopping that makes a difference in your long-term health. Does your current bread choice hold up to this inspection? Let me know which brand is currently in your pantry in the comments below. If you found this investigative look into bread useful, please give this video a like and share it with someone who eats sandwiches every day. Remember, the goal here is not to eliminate bread from your life, but to help you choose the best version of it for your household. Being an informed shopper is the best way to vote with your wallet for better food standards.